So, 1 million in 1 year. That's my personal challenge on managing this money that I've been talking about, right? And that I put out the first episode on the other day. This is going to be short and sweet, but I was in the grocery store this weekend doing some shopping and looking at the magazine section. There's all these magazines that are trying to give advice, and it's hard to know what you should take, what you should listen to. And again, I'm not a money manager. I've got no ACC licenses. Just trying to find out what's the best way to invest, to make the best returns. And I've challenged myself to turn a sum of money. We've got about 154 in there right now. There'll be a little more coming that I'm going to put in there and throw in the pot. But turn that into $1 million in a year. Risky, maybe. I don't know. Is it possible to safely do that? I'm going to see. But, looking at all these magazines that, they're all, kind of get rich quick and do this, do that. And, really it's unclear who to trust and where to turn. So, this one made me laugh. I mean, Getting Rich, it's a complete guide. If you want to get rich, get this one. And then the tax guide, and then, your essential guide to e-commerce, the future. If you know the future, please let me know. So talking a little bit about the anxiety. So I woke up Sunday morning and went back to do a little work. And I was like, man, should I take that down? Should I do the 1 million in 1 year? Greg, you just revealed everything in this one account, and you're talking to everyone about what you're going to do. So I could make the million. I could lose everything I have in that account. I could have a 25% loss, 10% loss. I could only make 30% over a year. I could only make 5% over a year. I don't know. But there is a lot of anxiety there. But I'll tell you, regardless of what happens, I'll take you along for the ride. And I've decided to do it. And maybe there'll be a lot of gold even in the failures, with what I've researched that maybe doesn't turn out the way I thought it would. And but I hope you enjoy it. I hope you'll interact along with me. Let's talk on any platform that I'm putting this out on. Please message me your thoughts and your advice, and let's talk about it. See ya. I'll tell you another question that I have in doing this. Is there enough information available to the consumer in a capitalist economy, the stock market, and other investment tools? Is there enough information for the common man like myself or woman to make it, to invest intelligently, to make gains, to make strides without being on Wall Street or, just with information that's available to the public? Can we do it? I have a real question about that. And which is why we all have to go through funds managers and everyone else. So I want to see if it's possible. That's a real concern I have just about the overall state of affairs. And it's a real question mark that I have. And I see people that make it all the time. I'm just not sure if it's real. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this experiment, which is an experiment done with real money, my money, over a year period. And it should be a fun ride. But I believe in failure, and the more I can fail, the more I'll learn, and the more I'll grow. Hopefully my wallet will grow, but Maybe just my knowledge will grow. We'll see. But those are all real questions that I have. I think a lot of people have those questions. And I want to remove the mystery. I'm tired of the mystery. I want to peel the layers back, and I want to see how it all works. From stocks to stock options to shorts to investing in digital currency, and maybe more as more is revealed to me as I do my research, and I plan to share everything with you. So I hope you respect that. I think some will. I think I'll get a lot of detractors and haters out there as well, but you're all welcome. Come on along for the ride. One of the places that I like is the Wall Street Journal. I think it's a credible source. They send out a 10-point email summarizing what's going on every single day, and I really like it. And looking at it, there are a few things that jumped out at me. So a few things that jumped out at me today in the Journal were that, the street, Wall Street investors were looking at big tech a little bit skeptically right now because of the antitrust litigation and other things kind of calling into question whether they have a monopoly or not, and whether that's going to perhaps bring down, make it more volatile, or bring down the value, makes it a riskier proposition or investment. However, if you look at what's happened with some monopolies in the past, let's say Rockefeller, for example, Standard Oil, and when they, you had the trust busters, right? And they busted it up into all kind of different oil companies and other things. If you read Rockefeller's biography, which I have, it's a very good biography. And when they busted the trust and when they divided his company into multiple different entities, all those entities took off and did really well. Nothing made him richer than the government splitting that huge entity, Standard Oil, who had vertically integrated all these things along the way, all these different industries, into separate industries again, in separate companies. So that made him richer than anything that he was doing himself, and he fought like crazy against the split up of the companies, when in fact what made him the most money was the split up of the companies, oddly enough. So I don't know if long term the breakup of that monopoly, and I'm not sure how that would shake down from a stock perspective, but I imagine if you own a stock in Facebook or Twitter or something like that, and it splits into separate companies, then perhaps you own stock in each one of those companies, which starts low and then grows high over time as separate entities. That's what happened to Standard Oil. So that doesn't necessarily scare me long term, but right now I'm looking a bit more short term, within a year. Another thing that stuck out to me is the story on governments around the planet looking to speed the vaccination process to a global population, which I see as raising the entire economy worldwide, United States and worldwide, in addition to being really good for airlines, so airline stock, cruise lines, Royal Caribbean, those and the like, and also for Airbnb, which I like a ton. And I've got all my eggs in this account in just a few baskets, okay? But I think diversification also kills investors a lot of times in anything, because you don't have enough money in one stock or in one play. You don't commit fully to one play. And when you don't commit fully to one play, even if that thing takes off, you say, hey, I wish I could have, how many times have we done that? Well, you can't do that unless you commit. I wish I'd have had Bitcoin at $500 a coin. But I didn't commit. I was unwilling to commit. That's one reason I'm not a huge fan of diversification. I think you invest in what you know and what you believe, and you live and die by those decisions, and you learn from them and move on. So that's what this year is going to be. This is $1 million in 1 year. It's my show about me trying to take around $150,000 to $200,000. We'll see how it shakes down. Once this other little monies that I'm going to put in there, then I'll show you that. And I'm probably going to put that in a crypto like Bitcoin, or maybe diversify it into a few, but it'll be in crypto. And we'll see how the entire thing shakes out over the next year. So I'm anxious. I'm revealed. I've shown all my cards in this account, and I'm going to take you on a ride where you can see the ups, the downs, the pitfalls. And I want to hear from you. Let's talk. Hashtag let's talk. I mean, I'd love to hear what you think, what your plays are. I mean, I know there's a lot of men and women out there who are investing. And stay tuned. I think I'm going to do a show on investing young, starting young. I have a couple of boys who are 15 and 21. I have 4 girls that are younger, but the boys, they've already started investing. I've got a 15-year-old who's in Sony stock because he loves PlayStations that have, I think his stock's, doubled or something. And I've got another one that's in Bitcoin and some other stocks that's working to make his money and pay for his room and board through law school, okay? And doing it that way and using the market as a way to help him get there. I had people message me recently about how you can start small and those apps and what they use. So I'm going to do a show talking about that soon too. Okay. But I thought I'd show kind of how I consume information some, and there's a lot of other ways too, and we'll get into that. But glad that we're looking to vaccinate the public as quickly as possible, open back up the economy, and also very curious that the street may not be as hot on big tech right now, but is shifting to cybersecurity and electric vehicles, okay? Which is one of my big plays is Tesla, which I think is just a phenomenal company and still undervalued. So anyway, again, I have no securities licenses. Don't listen to what I say. And, I'm not your financial planner. So, but stay tuned for the fun ride, 1 million in 1 year.